I know a lot of people have been following the anti-Asian hate crimes. We know they passed the bill. We know that the finger is mostly pointed at the black community. But one of the Asian people's own, Mrs. Wong, who works for the AAPI, she came out with disturbing data on what they say and who they point the finger at. And she has some disturbing things to say because it bothered her just that much. She said news reports and social media have been accusing black people for Asian hate and violence towards Asians. Like I say, that was far from the truth. On June the 15th, a report came out on Asian hate by people of color, and it was presented by a professor of American Studies at the University of Maryland, Janelle Wong, and she's an Asian woman. Last week, she published her findings. She found official crime statistics that revealed more than 3/4 of crime and incidents against Asians before and during the pandemic were by whites. Contrary to many images circulating online, Ms. Wong told NBC Asian American that it's dangerous misconception which perpetrates Asian hate incidents which can have long-term consequence for racial solidarity. She went on to say, the way media is covering anti-Asian hate and the understanding of it makes people biased. She also said the racist kind of tropes that came along with it, especially that it's predominantly black people attacking Asians. Because she said we're attacking the elderly Asians as well, not just only Asians, but the elderly Asians in general. They made sure that they put that out. And that's why she's saying they really wanted to point the finger that blacks are attacking elderly Asians. She said there's not really any empirical basis in that. Wong examined 9 sources and 4 types of data about Asian hate incidents. A report from AAIP Hate, PEW Research, and law enforcement statistics from a year and a half back. So she went a year and a half back to find all this empirical data. She found major contradictions in the prevailing narrative around perpetrators and victims when it came to racism toward Asian Americans. And that's something I've been saying from the beginning, that black people do not run around here attacking Asians. Black people only run around attacking other black people. It's like America and the masses of the Asian community, or either the small number, whatever group that's spreading the propaganda, wanted to point the finger and use black people as a scapegoat. And that's wrong. It's terrible. And it could get somebody killed up out here. She said, there's a widely held belief that such incidents are generally violent, when studies show that most of the racism Asian Americans have faced because of the pandemic is verbal harassment or shunning. Wong said that although older Asian women are typically thought of as the victims of such crimes, research shows that about 7% of incidents have involved anyone over 60. She said that while any hate crime or incident is unacceptable, the astronomical increases often reported in headlines don't capture the full picture of anti-Asian hate. The baseline for anti-Asian hate crimes and incidents has been relatively low, meaning a small growth in the total number of hate incidents can lead to large perception increases. For example, data indicate that the largest increase occurred in New York City, which jumped from 3 to 28 anti-Asian hate crimes from 2019 to 2020. About an 833% surge. Meanwhile, Sacramento, California increased from 1 to 8 anti-Asian hate crimes from 2019 to 2020, a small jump in raw numbers that equates to an increase of 700%. And she also went on to say, Black Americans have long faced higher rates of hate crimes, even though official 2019 law enforcement data shows a drop in anti-Black hate crime reports. Black people were still by far the most targeted racial group. 58% of reported hate crimes were motivated by anti-Black bias. Last year, when Asian Americans dealt with coronavirus specific stereotypes, 27% of Asian Americans reported having ever experienced hate crimes or incidents, while 34% of Black Americans did, according to the AAPI data survey. So when you look at it, it's like I said in the previous videos when I reported on the anti-Asian hate. I said it. Black people are the most hated. Been getting more hate crimes against them than anybody. It's undeniable, hands down. We just seen what the professional said. She basically said they're pointing the finger at black people. Said no, they're the ones who's doing all these hate crimes toward the Asian community. That's what they saying. But the Asian woman that actually works for the nonprofit that fights against Asian hate says it's not true. It's a major contradiction. So somebody owes somebody an apology for just being that. That's racist, if you ask me. To just point a finger at a people. And you did not just do it in the United States. You did it all across the globe. You even sent it all through Asia. That's dangerous. And that's something I've been saying from the beginning. That black people do not run around here attacking Asians. Black people only run around attacking other black people. It's like America and the masses of the Asian community, or either the small number, whatever group that's spreading the propaganda, wanted to point the finger and use black people as a scapegoat. And that's wrong. It's terrible. And it could get somebody killed up out here. So it doesn't make sense. You ask me, you guys owe us an apology. Whoever started that narrative, whoever ran with that narrative, you owe us an apology. When I did the video on anti-Asian hate, I had a few Asian people come in my comments and drop their negative words toward me. You owe me an apology. Straight up. So when you see this video, it would be appreciative of you as a man or as a woman to give me my respect and say, I apologize, I was wrong. China Mac, you don't have to run around here lying and being fake as a wooden nickel. Now you can come out straight and say, hey, I apologize because I was feeling that way too, even though I hang out with you guys. That's all. It takes a bigger, better man to apologize. A sucker won't. But now that we got this data out in the open, appreciate to Ms. Wong, appreciate to the founder of the AAPI, and that's how we be stand up. And that's the way we don't have racial tension when we all live in some of these same communities. It's okay that we all can stand with our own, like, hey, I'm about my own. That's fine and dandy. But I don't have to go out and do nothing wrong to you. I don't have to bother you. You doing you and I'm doing me. But I can't lie on you and say you did something you didn't do. You can't be biased. Because when you're a biased person, you become a person that no one can trust. And with that, I'm going to say, this is the news in you. North, east, west, south. Unite from every alley in Cali, intersection and back street. Subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up on your way out the door.
I'm not who you think I am. Your perception is a lesson with a fail grade on it. Yeah. Steady living life like I would never see the morning. True shit, man, I'm more than pain, I'm more than stain on sidewalk, I'm more than black skin on my face. Destined to be great, gotta elevate mind. Elevation is the game that I gotta play, gotta win, gotta